All right, welcome back to the Saturday edition of Morning Live. Let's continue with more stories now. In fact, our next interview, we've seen from the small town of Makhanda, Grahamstown, to the rest of the world. Thelela Nzanzeka's journey is one of struggle, resilience and redemption. In her heart-wrenching memoir, Isikhalo, The Cry, she recounts her childhood, her adolescence, from her early rebellions and substance abuse to the powerful experience that made her change her life for the better. So to tell us a little bit more about this book entitled Isikhalo, The Cry, author and poet joins us virtually. Thelela, good morning. Thanks for your time on the SABC at this hour.
Good morning to the Morning Live viewers and everyone in studio. I'm excited to have this review this morning.
Well, we're also excited to have you here. Thank you for being part of South Africa's heritage, for telling some of our stories. Perhaps even if we look at the title, how this, came to encompass your work, Isikhalo, The Cry. Talk to us about why you chose that title.
For many years, and coming from a township, because I come out of Ilokishi that is faced with a lot of struggles at Joza. There was a time when I couldn't project how I feel or even voice out how I feel. And so the title itself says Isikhalo, meaning the cry within me, and not being able to expressively say what I want to say. And so I kept all of my documented events in me, and until I had the courage to actually document this book as a dear diary for myself and for everyone out there.
Speaking about voicing your opinion, in your book, you ultimately describe your journey from a troubled childhood to a successful author. When we look at the unfoldings, talk to us about what that turning point was like for you when you found your voice.
I've always known and I've always seen the stories being told on television. And as I said, I come from Joza and I come from a small town, Makhanda. For me, it was never possible. And so I wrote and I voiced out and I documented everything that had happened in my life. Like, for example, the beginning of my journey in drugs and the abuse that I had faced, even at home, the activity of drug abuse and alcohol abuse. I then felt that it was my point of rescue. Writing a book was my point of rescue. Fortunate enough, I had friends, the likes of Samkela Stemba and Pravina Kassan, who then saw that I was able to tell a story and able to advise young people. And so it then began from there. People trusted me. Roy Hayward, my editor, trusted me in writing a good segment and a good book for everyone to hear, and maybe it was going to be a life raft for the next young person.
Well, Thelela, you are a storyteller at heart, and throughout your story, you mentioned the importance of music in your life. I wonder if you could speak to what role music's played in your journey. You also touched on the role of family, the role of community in one's life, and support at large. How would you encompass that throughout your journey thus far?
Grateful to the likes of Mtunzi Mastida and Quinty. He introduced me into traditional dancing and drums and music. I was not a singer, unfortunately, but I liked telling stories, and the sound that which encompassed the storytelling touched me a lot. I enjoyed jazz music, and I enjoyed the traditional pop music. And so when I entered into storytelling, I never thought that it would transpire into me writing a book. I had always felt that I was rejected out of society once I conceived my boy Alunge. I thought that I was weak. I thought that, society had turned their backs on me because, no parent wants their child to be involved with a child who is rebellious and a rebel. So I found a sense of comfort and my younger brother, Utemaletu, had liked listening to hip hop. And so the lyrics and, the struggles of what people go through perpetuated me into completing and finally releasing my book, Isikhalo.
Ultimately, also one of your major themes in your book is about transformation and really finding your true purpose. And so when you look at the journey you've undergone, the milestones, the challenges, the strides as well, what advice would you give to others who may be struggling to find their own purpose and, find that gift that they're meant to impart to the world?
As I said earlier on, I used my book and my writing as a point of rescue. And unfortunately, we live in a society that uses digital devices, and it is so easy for us to be keyboard assassins. And it is so easy for us to even believe what others say about us, even though we know that we are not that. And our characters and the way we are differentiates from person to person. And my most important thing and my story, the thing that I really want to pass down to the young people is believe in yourself and believe your dreams are valid. And also master the art of knowing who you are in a society that has a confirmation, like they conform to a certain thing and also they believe a certain thing, but always be that individual that says, look, I'm going with who I am. And fortunately, I'm a Pisces. So at times, my transformation and who I am really shaped me in a small town and in a society that boxed me and synchronized me and said, this is a teenage statistic, she is a failure, etc., etc. And I was able, from my struggles, to identify my strength and my power within everyone.
Wow, it's the story.
And so,
I'm going to have to leave it there. It's the story of perseverance. It's the story of transformation. Thank you for joining us at this hour and for being so honest and forthright, telling your story. We'll leave that conversation there for now. Author and poet Thelela Nzanzeka talking to us about her new book. It's entitled Isikhalo, The Cry.